Hi, good afternoon. This is Sagar Tamane from OEM Update Magazine, and today we are here at the grand office opening of Balluff Automation India Private Limited. It is my honor now to welcome to this panel discussion Mr. Uday Bhalchandra, who is the Managing Director of Balluff India, who is seated left on my side. I have Mr. Florian Hermle from Board of Directors and Managing Director of Balluff Global, who is sitting next to me, and I have Mr. Thomas Sates, who is the Regional Vice President and Head of Balluff APAC Operations. So welcome, gentlemen. Take us to the journey of Balluff India over the past 5 years, because we saw in 5 years there was a pandemic, as I mentioned. How did you sail across this very challenging time?
Thank you very much for inviting us for this function. See, it was in 2019 we started. We were present in India as with a distributor. But there was a time when the Balluff India senior management decided to enter in India of their own as a subsidiary. Because please remember that when you come as a subsidiary, you can execute the business plans the way you want. When you have a distributor, there are a lot of limitations and compromises we have to make. That's point number one. See, 2019, Balluff, as I said, was present in India, and globally it is a very well-known brand. So in 5 years, if you leave, say 1.5 years or 2 years of pandemic, we had clocked consistent growth, and I would really appreciate the decision of the management coming in India at the right time. Because if you see today, India is on the world map of growth, and it is on a bright spot mentioned by World Bank or IMF, and I'm really happy that Balluff is in India at the right time. And in 5 years, we are growing very good. We are increasing our footprint across geography, across the industry vertical as well. And I'm sure in the next year we'll continue doing it. And because please remember, if you want to start, because anything in India, you need support from your APAC office and also from your headquarters. So I'm really happy that the two seniors of Balluff India, I would say, Mr. Thomas and Mr. Florian, has really recognized India as a potential business hub, and then they are supporting very differently to it.
So that actually prompts me to ask Florian, what really made you feel very ecstatic about the Indian market?
Well, looking at India, the sheer size just shows the potential of human capital, people there, people with ambition. And we have with Thomas a very business-driven person here in Asia Pacific. And, we had a good and intense discussion about how to enter and when to enter. And he presented the plan to us, and this plan has been more than executed in the past 5 years. So I can say India is definitely a fast-changing and a fast-growing market for us, and I'm really glad that we have now this own representation here to capture that growth.
Thomas, I'll come to you. You are heading the APAC operations. APAC is a very dynamic market today, considering two huge economical giants like China and India. But the demands for the products are very different in both the geographies. India happens to be a very price-sensitive market. How do you cope up with this kind of a challenge, what the Indian markets can pose?
Well, thanks, Saga. That is a tough one to answer right away. But yes, you're right? First of all, Asia Pacific has maybe here and there different requirements on products, are also very challenging on pricing, not only India, but I would say there's a few other countries, but the Indians are driving it to the extreme, yes, right? But then when you look at our customer base as it is right now, it is still in India also, it's still very international, customer driven. That means products that go also somewhere else into the world, right? Let's just take machine builders in Pune that work for manufacturing plants or customers in the US or in Europe. That means those products are still within the global framework. That means we're very, very suitable, right? And we can provide not only the products, but we can also provide the international project management for customers to make that happen. That's on one side, right? But as we go deeper, into the Indian and local market, I guess, right? And you see the space here, and we have similar discussions in China. The question is, how do we have products that fit the market? And not necessarily cheaper, right? But really, what is a product market fit moving forward? That's discussions we're having, right? How we can improve this one in the future, not only for India, but for the rest of Asia Pacific. And that is hopefully something we're addressing soon.
Which are the new products, given this situation, what you just mentioned about the market size and the kind of price sensitive, both markets are different. So what are the new products you are planning to launch in the Indian markets?
So I'll take that too, but you're asking the non-engineer here on the table. I think we've done a couple of good entry products, right? First of all, we have an entry BES, if you look here on our show, which is a very competitively priced proximity sensor. We have recently developed also very much a lot of input also from Asia Pacific, an entry line network product, right, as a master and a hub. We have developed a new range of BTLs that are more or less replacing our existing linear transducers that are more price competitive. And happy to say we already had the first successes also in India with this one in the tire industry. So we have products that come out. And I wouldn't say that specifically for India, right, as you said, the Asia Pacific, but in the end, as Indian and Chinese and all the companies competing on a global scale, those products will also be used anywhere else in the world, right? So we have good stuff coming out, right? And the team is doing a good job to promote. And some are called entry line, so kind of really distinguishing a bit. The others, you might not even notice that this is a more competitive product, because the features are still the same.
Whenever there is a new product, of course, there is a expiry date to that product. So here we are talking about, let's say, product discontinuation. So do you have any smooth or easy changeover strategy for product discontinuation without wasting the cycle time of the customer?
Of course, this is me also heading up the technical department. This is on the one side a nice opportunity, but always a challenge, because our products, there are products in the market that are older than us sitting here on the table. What is on the one side really a great thing, on the other side, there are components in there that are no longer available. So you have redesign and have to take a business decision whether it makes sense. But for Balluff, of course, with the growing amount of software, we will be facing more of these challenges, but also customer being more open to say, hey, if it's the same function, but just a faster processor or something, I'm okay. A lot of our products are right in the center of where things happen, in the machine, sensors. So this is sometimes a more delicate thing, because there's mechanical drawings that need to be changed and so forth. So Balluff is trying as hard as possible to offer products, I'm not saying for infinity, but with a reasonable replacement to make it easy for the customer to either just switch over without even noticing, or with minor changes. But it's a challenge, I think, that the whole automation industry has with the expectation of 10-year spare part availability that we need to do. And I think it's a place where also Balluff has always opportunity to improve.
Technical center, training center, you also have experience center, you also have webinar studio. How do you think these are going to help your customers, and how do you think it is going to be you that is coming close to the customers with these kind of centers what you have in this facility?
Please remember, we have all these centers in our office, but the first principle of Balluff still remains that we will demonstrate these technology at the customer premises. So we just want to be close to customer in their premises. But having said that, please remember, there are a lot of new technologies, new product Balluff is launching. And we would really like to take an opportunity to share our experience, share our knowledge, maybe train the customers very professionally. And we still think that we can do this when the customer enters in our premises, when he is in our training center. So that was a strategic decision of Balluff, that we would really like to have knowledge sharing. Some knowledge which we have taken years to build in our research center. We just want to offer this knowledge to the customer in the language, in the mode which they can understand faster. So I'm sure this combination of being at the customer premises as well as getting the customers in our premises will make a very big impact to the customers, and it will help our business.
Given this situation of the experience center and whatever we mentioned right now, what are the key areas of expertise of Balluff as an automation specialist?
See, please remember, Balluff has firstly specialty that we are the critical the application, possibly the better we are. So we would like to focus on selected critical applications. That is point number 2. We always would like to offer technologies and product which can differentiate in compared to our competitors, and that's part number 2. And now we also want to have the technical expertise, the technical services people in our company, even to get engaged with the customer during the initial discussions. So what our plan is that the more we engage with the customer, not just when we receive the inquiry from the customer, but possibly when the project is under discussion, can we give them solution which can make our customer more competitive in their market. So this is our objective. It is not just to sell. We will obviously sell our product when we make our competitor more competitive against in the market. So this is the plan we have.
Can any one of you explain how is Balluff assisting customers in their digital transformation journey?
So in the world of the industry, also data becomes more and more important. Is it to have a better view on your process quality data, but also the subject of predictive maintenance becomes more and more important, that you actually service your machine in a planned downtime rather than in a stopped case because of a failure. So Balluff provides products that actually produce this data, that sensors that have temperature, vibration data available, but also our networking products that speak the language of IoT, be it OPC, MQTT, to make it easy for our customers to access this data and to have their potential own programs run in the background. So we provide the data, the customers take decision based on this data.
There are manufacturing plants across the world what Balluff is having right now. So could you discuss with us the advancement taking place in manufacturing operations of your company?
Well, our manufacturing plants are going more and more, of course, also into scalable productions. That means starting rather small and then being able to scale if volume grows. We are striving for platforms to make it easy, but we also partner with more and more external companies that not every part of the product must be made by Balluff, but we have experts, be it in microelectronics, populating PCBAs, is something that we can give out on mechanical parts. So our plants try to be focused on supplying for the local markets. We have an operation in the Americas, one in Europe and one in Asia. And in the aspect of sustainability, reducing the carbon footprint, we try to build our manufacturing footprint based on the needs of the markets, and also try to use the same technologies and processes across the globe to have the same quality and also the same aspiration of the product.
There is a very critical global phenomena which is about getting the right kind of resource as far as manpower and human resources concerned. We are seeing this skilling problem across the world. You possibly would agree to that. So what is the strategy that you are adopting, to create a culture of continuous learning, upskilling, and empowering their workers to make a decision?
First for us, right? You see, yes, it is a phenomenon, maybe less so in Asia Pacific, I would say, because we have a much younger workforce in most countries, with the exception of Korea and Japan. Also, China is aging pretty rapidly. But when you look at India, I think this morning we heard it, the average age is 28.4, right? So there's an abundance of new talent coming out of the universities that really want to take it to the next level. But we as a company, what we do, what you see here, create an environment where people really would like to work, right? To bring them in, and I believe when someone walks into the office and sees the differences maybe to other companies, that's going to make a difference. We have obviously for our people, and I was saying that this morning too, the opportunity to travel. They're not just part of India. The Indian operation, they're part of Asia Pacific, and Asia Pacific is part of the global operation. So we see our people traveling to China, to Singapore for training opportunities. But also we have functions here that are global. That means we're giving people really not just a job, but a career path, what they can take, right? And we help them to develop. So we have a large training team that is currently based in China, but we're building up more capabilities in India too, particularly for India in the English-speaking, let's say, Southeast Asian markets that cannot be covered from other areas. So we do all this, but in addition, we know that monetary incentive is also important, right? For people, particularly fast-growing environments or economies like India, people buy a house. So they must be seeing that they're compensated fairly, right? Not just on a short term, but we have obviously an attractive base salary. We have an incentive program for the year. For key people, we have long-term incentive programs, really keeping them within the company, right? And I think so far that success we had with other countries that went through similar stages, we take them and learn from those and really apply that into India too.
Let me take Udayji's views on this as well, since you sit on board of some academias where we can see these kind of challenges can be addressed in a much India-centric way. So what do you tie up with academia so that this problem can be solved or at least can be taken care of?
See, once we have their office ready, in fact, we have discussed with Mr. Thomas and the APAC team that the next stage that we would like to hire the graduate trainees or the management trainees. Right. So, for example, we would like to have the graduate trainings in our technology department. Maybe we have the management trainings in finance, HR. So what you say is right. We have, in India, we have not really gone into that mode of recruitment. Right. But yes, it is under discussion. Okay. And then, since we have a very professional HR department active in India, right, we will make a plan how to hire, recruit or hire, or maybe have some engagement with the university and the college, so that we can get the fresh talent. We build them to our requirements.
According to you, what is the time taken by these fresh talents to actually become industry-ready go-getters? See, I would really like the answer could be, frankly, in the department which they are working. I mean, if you hire a graduate trainee working in a technical department, he may take about a year to understand, I would say really the basic, because Balluff is offering so many technologies that it is not easy or it is not possible to learn in 6 months. Right. But if you hire a management trainee in HR or finance department, possibly the learning curve would be shorter, yeah, in that case. So it depends on whether it is administrative, finance, HR, or pure technical or sales. Right. How does Balluff contribute to the evolution of intralogistic processes? Can you please talk to us about some solutions you have for these intralogistic processes?
But we have, in Balluff we have various industries, right? When you look at, you were mentioning it earlier, but our most important industry is the automotive industry. And automotive industry is also the industry that more or less guides the way for automation in all other subsegments or all other verticals there are, right? And then you're looking on the intralogistics, which goes horizontal across many industries. We have a pretty good portfolio, right? All across when it comes to optical sensors, it comes to proximity, it comes to vision, right? Barcode reading, comes to RFID system for track and trace, handhelds. So the networking, we talked earlier about our entry masters, our entry hubs, which have our hubs particular specific functions of extending hubs a few times, saving money for the customer, cable. So from a product portfolio, we have the full range needed in intralogistics. And it is a vertical for us. We're really trying to enter more aggressively, because we've seen in other markets, logistics or interlogistics, right? And I think India is still building maybe a bit earlier in that stage right now. That is, we might have missed that in other markets, but in the last 3 years, we brought out products that are very suitable for the industries, and we think we can make an impact there.
What are the advantages of Make in India initiative to scale manufacturing?
See, if you see that just few hours before we had a managing director of VDMA also addressing the importance of manufacturing. See, now it's very important that the government of India, the economy of India is growing by 6.7%. Right. But then what is important is what is the manufacturing part of it. So when we were 6%, the manufacturing content was only 5%, 15%, but of the GDP. Now we are 6.5 or 6.7, which were projected. The manufacturing content is going to be 24%. Right. So what is important when you manufacture? It is the basic strength of the economy. So. We also have IT. We also have service industry. This will keep growing. But please remember one thing: what manufacturing gives country is the export business. When you manufacture, we export. We make our foreign exchange very strong. We build our presence in many countries. So my one-line answer is manufacturing content is the most important, frankly, for an economy to grow.
My last question, it remains the same, but first I will take the Indian perspective, then maybe I will take the global perspective. And we are talking about some marquee project which Indian operations have executed in the past 5 years. How did you handle it? What was your approach to that challenging project? And finally, what was the outcome?
As I think, if you listen to the first answer which Thomas gave, and then he said that in India we have a lot of companies who operate at international level. So that's a very big advantage of India. If you take automotive, if you take auto OEMs, there are a lot of companies who operate globally. So when we wanted to make business with these Indian companies, what helped us is what Balluff has, global team of people who are working in that particular project. I mean, just to give an example, we have Tesla having manufacturing facilities at many countries. Okay. And Balluff also has a very prominent supplier to Tesla. So I'm sure if Tesla comes to India, we will have so much of support from all our offices to support Balluff India to make business with Tesla India. So this is what it is. I'm very happy that Balluff has been extremely successful in handling those companies who operate at multinational levels. So I'm sure this will help in India also to make the business with these companies.
Still, any project you have in mind?
See, I mean, there are many projects. I would say there are many projects in automotive. We also have projects coming in. Machine manufacturer. There are a lot of machine manufacturers who are operated in Italy or even in Germany. We also really focus. We wish that we were working on battery assembly because that's major area, and there are Indian companies which are becoming very prominent globally to supply automation for battery assembly, even battery manufacturing. So these are some of the projects we are keeping eye. Maybe after 2 years down the line, we will also have semiconductor, which is a very big boost or big vision of our Prime Minister. So maybe we in fact, just to tell you, we also have some specialists working in our APAC region under guidance of Thomas, and then we do business with semiconductor as well.
It just sounds that we do primarily only international business, but the automotive industry is probably special because it's really a global business. But when you look at India as a really growing economy, there's two things that come to my mind. Whatever you build, you need steel, right? So the whole steel infrastructure, the upgrade of the steel plant and production to hydrogen, the upscale, really the upgrading of plants to new levels of output. That's one factor. That's a very local business, right? Overall. And the second thing is what you need when you grow is energy. For both areas, we have really a really core competence on products, and also what we learned in the early days. The steel market was in Europe. Then the steel market moved to China, and now the next growth market for the steel and energy really is India, right? So it's not just international. There's a lot of local business that we're supporting, and that is done with maybe global expertise, but totally executed locally. Right?
Balluff India and Balluff as a global giant, in what ambitions they have for the Indian market. The ambitions are pretty achievable. The goals, what they have set for, the aggressive goals, I would say, what they have set for the Indian markets are, and I see it's more doable in the next 4 to 5 years, if I'm right, Mr. Bhalchandra. And I wish them all the best on the grand opening of their new office. I congratulate them on behalf of OEM Update. So congratulations, Udayji, Thomas and Florian. Thank you so much for spending your time with us this evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Signing off from Balluff India at Pune.